It's Part to Truth with me on Prof JJ Tabane. On the first, I think it was the first, let me just say November of 2019, that song ushered in Part to Truth for the first time here 4 years ago. And it talks about the African dream, and there's a reason we made it the theme song of this particular show. In fact, we played various versions of it for the subsequent shows to talk about an African dream, because we cannot afford to give up on our African dream. A lot of people meet me in the street and say, yeah, but why are you shouting at these politicians? And why can't, because man, you cannot speak softly because they only hear, they are hard of hearing. Our politicians are hard of hearing. That's why you can go to YouTube and play some of the rants that I made 5 years ago, and you will think they were made last week. Wait. I don't know whether you remember the rant around Zweli Mkhize. I don't know which hole he's hiding in now after trying to shoot the king and missed. Remember they're saying when you shoot the king, as he tried to do at the conference of the ANC, he missed. And then he's now in the wilderness because we haven't heard much of it. But there's still no consequence. Because what we are trying to say there, which we have said about a number of these leaders, not all of them can be painted with the same brush. There are some fantastic people. But the ones, these rotten apples, are the ones that make the whole bag go bad. You know, and what's making it worse is that you then don't have a consequence. That's why sometimes when you do this work, we think, is it really worth it, really? Because you got a clear case of corruption. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Somebody who's a minister of health steals money that's meant to save people's lives, man. And then the president, you know, is mealy-mouthed about it, doesn't fire the guy, allows the guy to resign in dignity, you know. And then the first chance he gets in a media briefing, he says, what a wonderful guy Mkhize is, you know. What a wonderful guy. Our standards, ethical standards, have dropped so much that politics come first and disciplining our own comes last. Yet we must never give up on an African dream. The dream that says we will have one day a country where ethics also begin to rise to the top. And the few men and women who do well within their portfolios, who take their job seriously, will multiply and become the example. And that's why on the show, sometimes we invite people, people ask, why are you talking to these people? Are these a bunch of your friends and what? No, sometimes we talk to people who we want to celebrate. We don't only talk to crooks who are trying to lie to us. Sometimes we talk to people who are trying to celebrate so that the others can emulate them. And the show's theme of an African dream won't be complete if all we talk about is corruption and that people are doing bad things. Sometimes we bring people who are actually doing good things. And throughout the 4 seasons of this show, we've tried to do that. We've tried to bring here, you know, people from civil society who are doing good work, people from business who are doing good work in their businesses, people from small businesses, people from the churches, from traditional leadership and so on. All of those who paint a picture of what an African dream can be like. And that's what we want to pride ourselves with doing. But we are here not to please anybody. We are here to speak truth to power and be able to show anyone who cares to listen that there's nobody who is immune to be criticized. And that's why we criticize all parties, all organizations. Anyone can come in for criticism at any time. It depends, frankly, depends on left that day. Come on next door. But the reality here is we fought for this freedom so that I can be able to express my views and you can do the same. And we want to increase as we go forward into season 5, more interaction, interactivity, where you can also tell us what you think. I don't know if you remember an interview we did with Ria Ledwaba. Before I get to the Ria Ledwaba interview, the interview we did with the Mbalula, remember that I heard of last year, we fed all sorts of stories, and Mbalula repeated this story and talked about how load shedding is going to be over by the end of the year. And this was like in the middle of the year, so nobody believed him, of course. But closer to Christmas, people then began to recirculate this thing that he had said. You may have forgotten about it. But indeed, load shedding was not over then. It still had maybe 5 months to go before it could be over. The interview that we did with Ria Ledwaba is the one I want to talk a little bit about today. Take a listen to what she said about the ongoings at SAFA. Danny Jordaan, can you please budge? Do you have confidence in him? Why would you contest him? He still thinks he has some years left to serve soccer in this country.
I believe we need change in South Africa. It's not about Ria Ledwaba. Yeah. I think SAFA needs change. I've been there, and I've been one of the vocal NEC member. Yeah. He can attest to it himself. That yeah. I had several conversations with him in his office when I was not happy with all the things that were going in sure. the NEC. I would go to his office, we will sit, and and 99% he would agree with me that I really agree with me. Maybe we should look at it. I just don't believe. I believe that Dr. Jordaan has served football. Yeah, was part of people that have brought the World Cup, but I think it's time for him to give other people an opportunity to change the situation that is there.
Yeah. Very, very interesting there. I mean, very, very opposite that we remember that particular interview because of what happened last week where Danny Jordaan was arrested and went to stand trial. Finally, something has had to happen. Danny Jordaan is a bloody crook. There's no other way of putting it. This is a bloody crook in suits. And I can just bet with you, right, that he's not going to get away with murder anymore. He has to answer for all the rubbish that he has done at SAFA. That is making us to be the ranked. I don't even know where Bafana is ranked right now. I don't know, it's ranked, it must be ranked somewhere closer to 100 in the world. Because we have refused to just transform our soccer administration to start with. And those guys that are there, they think they can get away with anything. That's why you're not surprised when they say, oh, they had a party and they gave each other 2 million rand present. You know, it's just, we just laugh and move on. Because there are untouchables in this country. If it's not the taxi drivers who can do as they please, it's the soccer bosses who frankly have done what they please for years. Danny Jordaan should have been chased away from the SAFA house long ago. When he was accused a few years ago here of gender-based violence, he should have resigned and cleared his name outside the SAFA house. When he was accused of stealing money or exchanging bribes with World Cup officials, he should have been asked to leave. No. Hey, you can't do that. Hey, you know, he's powerful. He's the one who's keeping the soccer people eating and what have you. We had to wait for the court to tell us this person is a crook. He needs to be arrested. Hey, by the way, like Mapisa Ngagula tried to do, he tried to go to court to stop the Hawks arresting him. Oh, this country is full of entitled leaders, man. The idea of a servant leader is out of the window in this country. No, he can't. He's too important to be arrested. That can't be. He'll hand himself over when he wants to, when he likes, at the time that he wants. The Hawks were arrested. Like all other citizens who are accused. You go to court, you clear your name there. Be lucky if your case is dropped. Be lucky. Thank your God. But we cannot have a situation where there are other people who are more equal than others in this country. And of course, soccer, they have entrenched themselves like that. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. I'm sure he's threatening like hell and seething at the mouth that he was made to stand at the dock. He must be furious. And he's going to be saying, hey, I can't go down alone. I told you in that dock. Who else was part of corrupting SAFA. And actually, it's a bloody joke that he's been accused of charging 1.3 million. What peanuts is that? This guy must have stolen billions, man. In the old time, that's what I am. He can't be sitting on 1.3. Please don't joke with us. They must dig and find what has been happening there, because he now cannot interfere with witnesses. He cannot interfere with people at SAFA. Now they are free, they are liberated to tell us what on earth has been going on there. Then Jordaan, corrupt to the core. Mara motsaba, motsaba o bolela o tle ba re hey mothago a pebe na ke mafia a ka romela batho, let him try. On this show will tell the truth fearless. But what him, we are covered with the blood. And we are going to do here God's work of truth telling until the last day.